Hello. What is going on, everybody?
Welcome. Good evening.
My man.
Hey, what's going on, Javi? Haven't seen you in a while.
I know this virtual wars, got everything funky, huh? how you
I know how you feel. Welcome everybody tonight to FIA's A through G Quality School Awards. Welcome. Hey, if you guys want to, go ahead, put your names in the chats out there. This is an interactive award show tonight. This ain't just sit back and watch, the Grammys and wait for somebody to play us off the stage. We're not doing that. No. This is going to be, there we go, Christina. There's a nice, strong, woo! That's what we're talking about. Because we're here to celebrate tonight, you guys. That's the purpose of this event tonight. And Javi's going to give you guys a little bit more on that.
Definitely, yeah. So, we're here for our second A through G Quality Schools Award. So a big shout out to that. Thank you for everybody who's here. Our goals for this A through G award show is to highlight schools achieving 80% completion rate for Black and Latino students in Oakland. Highlight schools with 25% growth, but not yet achieving 80%. Highlight schools with innovative practices that are moving A through G in the right direction for Black and Latino students. Lift up youth, parent, and educator voices and leadership. And lastly, we're going to end with our call to action campaign, which is super important as well. And now, we're going to introduce ourselves. So also, like Michael said, keep on in that chat. Let us know who's here. And
we've seen Jasmine. Welcome. We've seen Vanessa. That's right. Keep it up, you guys. Welcome. Thanks and appreciate you guys.
I'm going to let you introduce Michael.
I'll introduce myself. And also, before I do that, I just wanted to also acknowledge, and appreciate everybody for taking the time to come on in with us this evening. We're all going through very, very hard times. The pandemic is still very, very real. We're all going through that. So it's important that we take the time to celebrate when we can. And this is definitely some good reasons to celebrate. Mm-hmm. My name is Michael McDaniel Jr. I'm a family organizer with Families in Action. I'm also the father of 4. I have 2 students in charter schools and 1 that's in a district. When I was going to school, it was hard on me back then. We didn't have a lot of options for, Black and brown people to try to get a quality education, especially those growing up in D7. And so my parents had to make some hard choices to try to get me into a different school system. So it's tremendously important for me that, students know about these requirements so that they can further their education, so that they can have a chance at some kind of equitability in their lifetime. Javi.
Thank you, Michael. And really quick before I introduce myself, for my Spanish-speaking folks, para los que hablan español, hay un número que pueden llamar para tener la traducción. El número es 425-436-6363. Y ahí también va a estar. But hello, everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Javier Barraza, and I'm the FIA Youth Organizer and Oakland Unity High School alumni. So shout out to my Oakland Unity folks if you guys are here. And let me know in the chat. I love Unity. Graduated from there in 2016. And so yeah, a little bit about myself. Why A through G is important to me. A through G is super important to me because I believe there's a lot of students here in Oakland who just aren't given that education that they deserve. And in some sense, they're being left behind. There's a lot of students who need to have a pathway for A through G completions and making sure that they're getting every opportunity that they can get of education. So that's the main reason I'm here today, and the main reason that Michael's here and that we're all here just to celebrate the schools that are doing a great job so far, and to overall create an atmosphere of success for everyone.
Look at this, blowing that chat up. We got OUHS, I've seen Envision. We got Baytech in the house. Ames, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. And before we kick it up, LPS Oakland and Arise.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Keep blowing that chat up, as we continue to roll on. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next slide and just keep this show rolling. And we having us a good old hype time tonight. So make sure you let us know how y'all feeling out there. All right. So FIA mission and values. Our mission is to achieve greater access to quality education throughout Oakland, especially for those that are most impacted. Black, brown, and underserved students. We have to all come together, unite, so that we can break out of isolation. That's the only way that people are going to listen to our voices.
We also are trying to engage as many stakeholders as possible in order to build a strong movement.
Authentic participation is super important to us. That's why it's important that we're as transparent as we can be with you guys, so that you know that we're genuine and our passion for quality education for everybody. And we always make sure that we try to prioritize family and youth voices. As anybody that knows anything about FIA, it's so important to us to uplift those members of the community so that those voices and those stories are authentic and real.
And lastly, just families who have been least well served in public education deserve school choice.
All right. Let's go ahead and go on to the next slide and kick things on off. See,
we got somebody from Philly, Michael. Look at that.
Look at that. From all the way across the country. Love it. Fremont. But that's how you wrote it. So I just, I wanted to make Fremont.
All right. Awesome. Keep on blowing up the chat. We want to keep on seeing y'all. We got another Ibia. Welcome. Next, we're going to introduce my man, Dr. Charles Cole. Really quick to give an introduction and just start off, Dr. Charles Cole is just a mentor to me. Before I was here with Families in Action, I got to meet him, and he really just, he inspired me and made me want to, do the work even more. So let me introduce Charles Cole. He's the executive director of Energy Converters, co-founder of FIA, grew up in Oakland, and has been a strong, unapologetic voice for youth and quality schools. Let's find out why he founded Energy Converters to lift up the agency of youth.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Charles Cole III. I am the founder and director of Energy Converters. I want to welcome you all to these here A through G awards. I'm also a co-founder of Families in Action. I couldn't be prouder of the work that we've done together. And just a real quick story just of why this A through G work is so important to me. It's actually the reason that I even founded Energy Converters. Let me explain. I'm 37, and A through G was something that I had to deal with, being a high school student in California. But I had to do it all on my own. Well, I had to figure that out and navigate it by myself. My school did not necessarily help me out with that. But I have a brother. Well, he's a best friend, but he is like a brother. For all intents and purposes, this cat is my brother. And I went to Cal State Hayward. And he was a year behind me, and he was up there with me. And he worked and got his grades up and graduated with a really good GPA. A GPA where he was promised a spot in Cal State Hayward, now East Bay. Except he did not qualify for A through G. The classes that he took were not all A through G eligible, and nobody lifted that flag for him, not a soul. So instead of him being on a college campus with me, he ended up going to the Army. Now, I graduated high school in 2001. He graduated in 2002. If you don't know what happened, 9/11 happened in between that time. So my brother ended up doing 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. By the grace of God, he's okay. He's an amazing father and is still my best friend to this day. But there are so many black kids, brown kids, poor kids, whatever, that get left behind in this A through G process. And while California pops its collar and say, we graduate more brown boys, we graduate more black boys, we graduate more brown girls, more black girls, they not sharing the A through G numbers, where sometimes it's a third of those people that actually graduate that's eligible for one of the largest university systems in the country, where the CSUs promise you a spot if you are eligible. It's criminal. It is why I started Energy Converters, to build agency. I do not like my people being at the whim of systems that have not worked for them. So with FIA and Energy Converters, we are working on some policy changes. But in the meantime, and every parent that's listening to me and every student that's listening to me, sorry for hitting the microphone, but y'all understand, I'm passionate about this. Learn how to do this A through G stuff on your own. It is not that impossible. It is not impossible, and it's not that hard. Learn how to do it. Do not wait on these systems. And if these systems don't get it to where they need to, then we need to shame them, because we lose too many of our own around this. So shout out to the schools that are doing an amazing job around it. There are some schools where the kids don't need to know about A through G because their school is handling it. But there are also some schools where kids are getting D's and getting passed on, which a D is passing in high school, but it is ignored when you're trying to apply for college. And a lot of these kids are ineligible, and they don't know. And it's our job and our responsibility, you listening right now, all of us, to make sure we change this, not just for Oakland, but for the state of California. My name is Charles Cole, and I appreciate your time. Kimmy, you are doing an amazing job, and I'm so honored to be your partner in this work. And for everybody else that helped with this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I will never stop fighting for this until it changes and we stop losing our kids unnecessarily. Y'all be smooth. Peace.
Right on.
Super powerful, like always.
Right.
Michael.
Yeah, no, every time, and I like the second, third, and fourth that, growing up in Oakland like I did, I experienced some of the exact same struggles, and I have a lot of friends of mine who probably could have went on to be some top level professional talent, but they never even got that opportunity to go to college because A through G held them back. So, appreciate him for uplifting that and for, the co-founding of FIA. And so we can get in there and do this work. Let people know what's going on so that their kids don't fall for these same pitfalls and traps.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Cole. I mean, amazing stuff, you guys. You have to agree. You almost feel the passion coming through the video. Now, we want to keep things going by introducing two of our very, very amazing youth leaders to explain exactly what A through G requirements are and how they work.
So next up, we need to be super clear about what in the heck A through G means. I've talked to too many students and parents who don't know that A through G is college eligibility, gatekeeper, or if you completed a gate opener. Once again, we have two amazing youth, Jaden from Emory High School and Isaiah, who is an alumni of Oakland Unity. And let's take it away.
My name is Jaden. What are A through G requirements? The A through G requirements are a list of high school courses that all students who want to go to college have to complete in order to be minimally eligible for the UC and CSU systems.
My name is Isaiah, and the A through G required classes are A, 2 years of history, B, 4 years of English, C, 3 years of math, although 4 is recommended, D, 2 years of lab science, E, low or language other than English, 2 years or 3 recommended, F, 1 year of arts, and G, 1 year of an elective.
All right, right on. Thank you, Isaiah and Jaden. Weren't they two awesome youth leaders? Broke it down for us, in a way so we can all easily understand. And one key takeaway from it is that there's a set of courses that you have to complete, period. If you miss one, you won't be able to apply to a 4-year college. You have to pass each course with a C or better, or it doesn't count. That's why we don't fall into that trap. That's why we have the Dump the D campaign. We can get rid of that grade in the first place. That leaves less room for our scholars to fill. And our Oakland families are super savvy, and they ask for a resource to help them keep track of A through G. So check out in the chat, it'll come by on the screen. And you can see you get your very own A through G resource guide in both A in English and in Spanish to help you so that you understand exactly what your student is facing.
And before we move on, we want to know what you think. It's clear that A through G is super important. And like I said before, it can be a gate closer or a gate opener. So, let's take some time really quick to just get your thought. Put it on the chat box. What are your thoughts on A through G? Why is it so important for students to make sure that they're being put in a pathway to get this completed before they graduate high school? Let's hear it from you guys. Come on.
Right. Like I saw down there, D's don't get degrees. Exactly. Yeah. If that's an easier way for you to remember, so be it. That's what needs to happen. But it's important. It's imperative. If our kids don't get these things, like they shortcut themselves. You might have a student athlete, and their athletic career will be cut short just because of a D, from one class that's a part of these A through G requirements. There will be no Chico State. There will be none of these famous, colleges all throughout California, which we all have seen from this past draft. California develops pros, plenty of them. Yeah. So don't let our students be the ones that are falling by the wayside. We have plenty of talent too.
Yeah, we got Baytech saying give all students access to college, which is spot on. We want all of our students to have access and opportunity. Exactly. A through G completion helps us youth have that option for college. Definitely. All right, awesome. So keep on blowing up the chat. Just for sake of time, let's move on to our next slide, folks. Cool. So like Michael was saying earlier, this is the Get Your A through G toolkit, and we're going to be putting a link in that chat. That way you guys have access to this.
As you can see, very easy to understand guide, so you can make sure that your student is on track. This is out there for the youth as well. Make sure you share this with your friends who are as up on their A through G game as you're going to be after tonight's awards. Share this. Let them know, because everybody deserves equitable access to a quality education. Everybody.
And I think something that's super important that I'm just looking at right now, Michael, is the 3.0 GPA, free money for college. Like that's a super important thing. I mean, I know when I was applying for college, right? Like money is always something that you take into consideration. So definitely, you got to take all the opportunities that you can get. The classes that you need for your requirements are there. Definitely take a look at this. Like Michael said, share it to your friends, family, and let everyone know the importance of A through G.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving on to the next slide, please.
Also, so now I want to introduce. First of all, now that we are understanding what A through G is, we want to bring this up to a policy level for superintendents, board members from charters and districts. This next session is for you. Why should policymakers be thinking about A through G? Now, we are honored to welcome OUSD former school board director Jamoke Hinton, our former D3 representative. Jamoke has dedicated over 2 decades to Oakland community. She is known locally and nationally as a champion for children and families. Jamoke is one of the founders and leaders of SOBEO, the State of Black Education in Oakland. Please welcome an amazing Oakland leader, Jamoke Hinton. Blow it up in the chat. Welcome her.
Greetings. My name is Jamoke Hinton, and I've had the opportunity to be a policymaker and work in governance and leadership in Oakland over the last 12 years. And I would say that A to G work is some of the most important work and most tangible and measurable work that we know supports young people to be successful. And so I can remember when I first got on the board that it was one of the first pieces of legislation that the Board of Education took on. And that was to require the A to G requirements were the standard for every single graduating student of Oakland Unified School District, and now, of course, for Oakland Public Charter Schools. And so policymakers should take it very serious that families and students are saying that they value this. And as policymakers, we can put resources to ensure that there are enough electives, to ensure that there's high quality instruction, and that students from 9th through 12th grade are getting everything they need so that they're eligible and ready for career, college, and community, but more importantly, for our UC systems of schools. This is important work to be done, and to all of our legislatures, folks that are in policymaking spaces, know that the quality of this work is truly important for our students to be successful. So I appreciate all of my colleagues that have gotten around supporting this and will continue to support it, and to make sure that master schedules and all of those things like that accommodate the students' needs in this particular case. And so congratulations again to all of those folks, young people that stood up to the rigor and took on what it takes to go on to the next phase of their life in this new pathway. So congratulations again, and to policymakers and leaders, please support young people and families in this particular kind of way. Congratulations again.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Jamoke. And look at all that love over there in the chat box and in the comments. And keep blowing it up. And I see you over there, Sherman. No, thank you for allowing me to be at your graduation ceremony. That was a special treat for me. Even though I'm about to tell my age, it was a blessing to be at a graduation 20 years later. You know, I'm a class of 01. So class of 2021, y'all hold a special place in my heart too. So appreciate you guys. And that video, like, you know, what really stood out to me is the fact that this is a fight that's been going on for a long, long time. And just want to really appreciate Jamoke for being a voice of reason, you know, and such an important proponent in this fight for so many years. Like she said, you know, it's important for all of our children to have access to the right classes. You know, for the master schedule to be set up in such a way that it makes it hard for them to fail and fall by the wayside. Because as we all know, the system ain't always set up in our favor. It's just facts.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Michael. And I feel like something that, you know, really stood out to me as well was that we need to get this out there. You know, we need to keep on getting this out there, because when people are talking about it, when we go to our schools and we're telling them that we want A through G. We want, you know, our students to have their A through G completed. This is when stuff gets done. There's a lot of students and families who still don't know what A through G is, and excuse the noise in the background. But there's a lot of students and parents that still don't know what A through G is. So it's important that, you know, we're passing this message on to our family and friends.
Right. You know, and like she said, you know, they are in a position, the board that is, as policy makers, to add additional resources. So then you just kind of have to ask yourself the question, well, why aren't they doing it? And then at the end of the day, if we don't come together and unify our voices and push for them to do the right thing, they just won't.
Definitely. Awesome.
So on that, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. I believe we have another amazing video to share with you guys. Oh,
there it is.
Yes, we do. And you guys, this is going to be a conversation, you know, with some youth leaders, you know, from our partners at Energy Converters. And, you know, I also wanted to make sure I shouted them out as well, because without them, that toolkit would not have been possible. You know, they are very strong partners in everything, you know, and everything that we're trying to accomplish. And you're going to hear from a group of them with some of the youth leaders who I always feel is at the heart and the root of all the work that we do and should also be leading the way.
Hey, I'm Dr. Charles Cole, founder of Energy Converters and executive director. How you doing today, brother?
Man, all is amazing, bro. It's good to be on.
You want to tell me your name?
I'm Keith Evans. I'm an educator out here in West Oakland, by way of Middle Georgia. So, and also I'm a program manager at Energy Converters.
Awesome. And just for the people watching, if you haven't met us yet or know what Energy Converters does, we focus on the end users of education. We lift those voices and build agency. And those end users are students, their parents, and their community. And today, we're really honored to be here and to be part of this celebration. And we did some research. We did some work and got the voices of about 446 young people. Marquise, why don't you we got a few that we want to talk to today.
Yes, sir. So pretty much I'm just saying I'm proud of all of our fellowship scholars. This year was definitely challenging doing everything virtual, but we still was able to make the thing happen. But today we have a group of 3 scholars. We have Daisy, we have Barbara and Shaquila, and these were our scholars that led this research and got the surveys out. And we heard the voices of 400 plus scholars.
So before we go into that data, why don't we go through each student and they can just say a little bit about who they are, where they go to school, and just what this process meant to them around lifting their fellow students' voices. Daisy, let's start with you.
So hello everyone, my name is Daisy. I'm a junior at Aspire Golden State. This fellowship to me was amazing. It helped me raise my own voice and support other students from the Bay Area into like being able to do more stuff.
That's what's up. Barbara, can you let us know who you are?
My name is Barbara. I'm an 8th grader at Convertors Academy. To me, this program taught me a lot and it helped me be more confident in myself. And I'm proud that I was able to help other students and get their voices heard out there.
All right. And last but not least, Miss Shaquila.
Hi, I'm Shaquila. I'm an 8th grader at Convertors Academy as well. This fellowship helped me realize and address some problems I didn't even think I knew. It helped me realize some of the wrongs on and how we can fix it.
Awesome. So thank you all for that. I'm going to jump into and just kind of show, we did a really extensive survey, but I'm just going to show really quickly our results around the A through G work. So we talked to 446 young people and we asked, and these young people were mostly high school students. We had some middle school students, but we had mostly high school students. All are Oakland, and they go to various schools, whether they be traditional schools, charter schools, or otherwise. We asked, do you know what A through G requirements are? Half of the students that we talked to did not know what A through G requirements were. That's 446 young people. If you do you know if you're currently eligible? Well, we still got 50% that don't know what A through G means and 14% that know for sure that they're not currently eligible at the moment. Slide number 19, do you know how to check your own transcripts to even see if you're eligible? Again, the net negative is around 60% of young people that don't know how to do this work on their own if they need to. And a really important question, has an adult at your school walked you through the A through G process? 55% of the students that we talked to said no. So I want to get some general reactions. And Marquise, why don't you facilitate that part of the conversations with the young people?
Yes, sir. So pretty much just going back through starting with day one with the A through G, it's just, for me, it was mind-blowing that 50% knew about A through G, but when we went to the next question, how even the people who knew about A through G, they didn't know if they were eligible and checking the transcript. So with the part about an adult walking you through the process, Daisy, would you like to tap on that?
Yeah, for me, for that, knowing that students didn't have somebody that was able to walk them through was pretty upsetting, because I feel like students go to school to get prepared for their future, but not having other adult support was not good, because I feel like students just won't be able to succeed if they don't have that support.
Mm-hmm. Shaquila.
I believe that it was frustrating as well, because we know that goals of schools are to make sure that scholars are prepared for high school and they are prepared for college, and this just shows that something is being done wrong.
And Barbara?
To me, it was upsetting, because it's crazy how the teachers didn't walk them through that and don't know how to check their transcripts to see if they're A through G eligible. And it's just like everyone deserves their shot at success.
So we focus a lot on both policy goals, which is like changing the rules or the laws or just what like official things that can actually happen, official policy. And we also focus on agentic goals, which is basically putting power back in the hands of students and their families. When we looked at slide 19, more than 60% of students did not know how to check their own transcript for A through G eligibility. Marquise, just with the work that you've done with this Oakland cohort, what do you all think we should be doing about that issue?
So it goes to the point of like meeting scholars where they are, when everybody learns different ways. We got your visual learners, and we got your audio learners, and your kinesthetic learners. So when it comes with the transcripts, I know we've been discussing about an agency goal for us where one, scholars have to have a better relationship with their counselors, but also to be agentic. How do we get scholars to make sure that they're developing these relationships with their counselors? And also for our policies, how do we put the fire on our counselors and make sure that it's being mandatory that our counselors are actually getting to each scholar as well? And so Daisy, I know Daisy brought up some facts about how she meets with her counselor. So Daisy, could you tell us about your experience and how your relationship with your counselor has impacted you in school as well?
Yeah, first of all, I meet up with my counselor like at least once a week, and just knowing that I have her support and her guidance to walk me through A through G requirements and all that stuff helps me like be more prepared, and like I just have a feeling that I am more comfortable with her in order to talk to her about more stuff than just A through G, like probably classes, probably just like way more stuff than I would if I hadn't made the first move to like talk to her.
So Daisy, what is the agentic goal that we're going to push with this one?
An agentic goal for this, I would say for schools to like at least have like a meeting for that require meeting for every student for their advisors to meet with.
Thank you. Any other, I know that we, I know they got a full program and we love being here. Are there any other solutions, whether they be policy or agentic, that any of the young people just want to share before we give Kimmy and the rest of the team the space back? Barbara, give me some more solutions.
Maybe a policy goal can be that if student counselors aren't, introducing A through G to their students, they should either like receive consequences after being fired, because that's not okay that they're not being introduced to it, because it's a part of their future and it affects their future. Awesome.
Thank you for that. And Shaquila, why don't you take us out with one more solution before I put a nice bow on the end of this part.
I believe just getting the word out there, doing all that we can socially and in person, even though we can't do it yet, just trying to get the word out there and allow people to be knowledgeable of the situation and then move on from there.
Awesome. This has been great. And I really wish we had more time where we could just, spend with folks. And here's the thing, we're still in the midst of writing out our report. So if everybody makes sure that they share their email addresses, we will make sure all of you get our final report around A through G in Oakland. The one thing that I want to leave you all with is that these agentic goals that we're talking with students about, whether it's going to see their counselor, whether it's learning how to check their transcripts, whether it's just having to be vigilant themselves, I want to be very clear. This is not fair for us to have to ask young people. But alas, these are the same things that I had to do when I was a student in OUSD a long time ago, and it's still an issue. To the people and the schools that are doing a great job with graduating Black and brown kids eligible for college, bravo. to the schools that are boasting a high graduation rate, but you have these really high percentages of Black and brown kids who are not eligible for college because of A through G, you need to look really hard. Hopefully we can get some policy changes done, but Energy Converters is gonna make sure that our community is prepared and ready regardless. With all that being said, thank you all so much for having us, and we will all, as an EC family, wave goodbye to you all. Goodbye. All right, and
Right on. Right on. Thank you so much, Daisy, Barbara, Shaquila, Dr. Cole, and Marquise. Thank you guys all for that. Just wow, guys. I mean, I'm both blown away and taken aback all at the same time. I mean, it's sad that over 50% of those kids are just blissfully unaware. Like that can't be the narrative. That can't be what happens to our children. And then it also showed how important that relationship is with that counselor, and knowing your rights, as we all say. You got to know your rights. Well, you have the right to a good A through G education, one that'll set you up for success. So you have to be able to push back and make sure that you're getting everything that you need from the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that really stood out to me was that 55% say no to an adult talking to them about what the A through G is. This is like something that should immediately be told to students from the get-go. Right off the bat, this is what A through G is. This is the importance of A through G. And, it just, a lot of students, it was a survey of 400 students, 200 students have been failed. And, we just can't have that happening.
Right. So we gotta step up, people. We gotta step up. We're here tonight, though, to celebrate this. We're here to celebrate these schools and everything. Now, there's going to be a link that's going to come by into the chat box. And now we believe that every school in Oakland should have a high A through G completion rate. Now, please join us and ask the OUSD board members, like we said, policy change, and superintendent, that you want them to increase A through G access for all Black, brown, and underserved students in Oakland.
And now, sorry, Michael, I was waiting for the music for the noise to come off. But now, let's hand it off to two of our amazing field leaders, Lene Cheesley and Stephanie Velasquez.
Woo! Come on, let's see you guys up there in the chat. Let's give it up for our two amazing co-hosts here today. I'll hand it off to them and enjoy. You guys are in great hands.
Thank you guys for that great intro. Let's give it up in the chat for Michael and Heidi. They have done a wonderful job hosting. I'm Lene Cheesley.
I'm Stephanie Velasquez. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm Lene Cheesley. I'm a graduate of OUSD. I currently work for the city of Oakland. I'm a proud mom of two Kip Bridge Bay Area students. I also have a high schooler at Cristo Rey de la Salle. And, today I am making sure that my children have access to A to G. I believe in being a proactive parent by constantly asking the school staff and teachers to update me on progresses, and which includes the A through G. And Stephanie, how about you?
Thank you, Lene. Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Velasquez. I'm a junior at Oakland Charter High School, and I feel very lucky to say that at my school, we prioritize A through G for all students, and we have many leadership opportunities. But I look at the data, and I really care about increasing A through G for all students across Oakland. One of the best ways to do that is to see where it's already happening. Tonight, Lene and I will have the honor of sharing the schools where great achievement and improvement is happening for Black and brown students surrounding A through G.
Before we get into the celebration, we have a very special guest tonight who wants to personally graduate all award-winning Oakland high schools. Dr. Cliff Thompson is the new school board director for OUSD District 7. He has been an educator for over 40 years in K-12 and higher education. As a board member, he is passionate about disrupting the inequality in academic achievement, and fostering A through G success for Oakland students. Please join us in welcoming Dr. Thompson.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Clifford Thompson, Oakland Unified School Board Director, representing District 7, our district. I'm so honored to be here this evening with this vibrant community of students, parents, educators, school leaders, and community partners who are united in their commitment to increasing college access for Black and Brown students of Oakland. But I remember when I was a high school student, I got mixed messages about what college I should apply to. Some people believed in me and others didn't. However, because I had completed all of my A to G courses, I had options and was proudly able to matriculate to UC Davis as an undergraduate student where I received my college degree. So tonight, we have the privilege of celebrating schools that are achieving excellent rates and giving students the option to actually complete their A to G requirements. We are celebrating all kinds of schools, traditional comprehensive high schools, small district schools, and charter schools. These schools are helping Oakland families fulfill their dreams for their children to be able to go to college. I'm very proud to celebrate and congratulate the following schools tonight for achieving 80% plus A to G completion rate or high improvement for Black and Latino students. Aspire Lionel Wilson Prep, COVA, the Conservatory of Vocal Instrumental Arts, Envision Academy for Arts and Technology, AMPS Oakland Charter High School, Coliseum College Prep Academy, Ames K-12 College Prep, Arise High School, Bay Area Technology School, East Bay Innovation Academy, LPS Oakland R&D Campus, Met West High, Life Academy, Lighthouse Community High School, Sojourner Truth Independent Study, and Fremont High School. Congratulations to the schools that are taking the steps necessary to make certain that all of our kids have access to and can complete A to G requirements. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for those words, Dr. Thompson. It's really amazing to hear such a powerful story of our school board representative and his passion speaking about the importance of increasing A through G, as well as high expectations for our students. And thank you so much for always advocating for all students across Oakland at all of the board meetings.
Thank you. Thank you for your inspiring story of getting to college, Dr. Thompson. As Jamoke Henson said, it is really important that elected officials and policymakers understand the importance of A through G completion for Oakland students. Dr. Thompson definitely does understand we need to celebrate, but we also need to make A through G completion possible for all students. As a policymaker, he can make sure the district invests in A through G. Well, it's time for the awards, but there are a few things you should know. In order to identify the schools, we use the data reported on the CDE website. When there was missing data, schools self-reported. If there's a small population, we also rely on the school self-reported data. For small populations, the student group had to be at least 15% of the student body.
Are you guys ready? Are you guys hyped? It's time to find out who the A through G winners are. Let's get in the chat box and show the love and shout out all the schools that Mr. Dr. Thompson mentioned. Okay, so first we will celebrate high schools in Oakland where 80% or more Latino students completed A through G courses and were eligible to apply to a UC or CSU school. Schools with 80% plus completion for Latino students. Let's give it up for Life Academy with 87% completion rate for Latino students. It's their second year in a row. Nice job to the team at Life. Please show Life Academy some love in the chat box.
Next up, Lighthouse Community High School with 88% completion rate for Latino students. Great job, Lighthouse. We have a strong group of FIA youth and parents and leaders here.
Okay, so next up, this is a D7 school, LPS Oakland. LPS comes with 89% completion for Latino students. Awesome. And please show them some love in chat box. You'll be able to hear from Miss Tonisha Webb on the LPS Secret Sauce soon next.
Up next, join us in celebrating an amazing OUSD school that is doing a phenomenal job getting their students ready for college. Let's give it up for Midwest, showing up strong with 89% completion rate for Latino students.
Amazing. Okay, so here's Baytech School with 90% completion for Latinos. Great job, Baytech. And let's see some love in the chat box for Baytech.
We're on a roll, Stefan. First graduating class at the East Bay Innovation Academy. And guess what? They are killing it with A through G. 90% completion at EBIA. And I also heard they are California Distinguished School this year. Wow. Congratulations, EBIA.
Amazing. Good job, EBIA. So next up, we have Arise High School in Fruitvale with 91% of Latino students graduating with A through G completed. This is excellent, and it's great to have you back with us, Arise. Can we get some love for Daisy Castellanos, who is representing Arise?
All right. Next up, we have Ames K through 12 is up next with 92% of students completing A through G. We wrote a blog to really capture their A through G secret sauce. And let me tell you, they are all about building a strong college-going culture and offering lots of AP classes to get their scholars on the road to college. Go Ames.
Amazing. Okay, so up next we have another OUSD school, Coliseum College Prep. You guys rock. You guys improved rates of A through G completion in 2020 up to 96% for Latino students. Awesome. Let's get some love for CCPA and Principal Amy Carroza.
All right. Up next, let's give it up for Oakland Charter High School, achieving an A through G completion rate at 98% in 2020. Do we have anybody in the house representing for Oakland Charter High School?
I'm right here. Chat box. Let's show some love to OCHS. Let's go Matadors.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, so now we're hitting our 100% schools. This is a big deal. It's amazing. As a parent or student, you should know that you will be completing A through G if you attend this school. That's exactly how it should be, and we are so proud of the school communities making this a reality.
We need a drum roll. A drum roll. Can we get a drum roll and some love in the chat box for our first 100% school, Oakland Unity High? Wait, wasn't Oakland Unity High also recognized as one of 3 California distinguished schools? Yes, they were. So this is a double prize for Oakland Unity. Wow. And let's give a shout out to Maria Fernandez, Unity Alumni Class of 2015 and Academy Tutor. Give it up.
Amazing. How about Aspire Lionel Wilson? Congratulations for your accomplishment of getting 100% of Latino students to complete A through G. Awesome work, LWP. Show them some love in chat box because that's 100% right there.
All right, next up, we have 100% of their Latino students completing A through G. COVA, the Conservatory of Vocal and Instrumental Art. We are so proud of you, COVA. Great work. And show COVA some awesome love in the chat, please.
Finally, with 100%, 2 years in a row, I am so proud to announce Envision Academy here with their proud principal, Manushka Minwad. They have had such a strong mindset and systems to make A through G a reality for all of their students. Fantastic work, Envision Academy. Let's hear some love in the chat box.
Put some hearts in the chat for all of Oakland students. All right, so next up, we'll have our African American Award presentation. We will be celebrating schools that have excellent A through G rates for African American students. We have talked a lot about our system we have talked a lot about how our school system has underserved African American students. These are schools that are setting the example on ensuring that African American students thrive and are eligible for a 4-year college. We have so much to learn from them. Let's do this. Please join us in celebrating and showing love in the chat box for our schools where 80% of African American students are completing A through G courses.
First up, we have Oh, can you hear me? Okay. First up, we have COVA. Great job with 90%. I know Valerie Abda and their team are so proud, as they should be. And let's get in the chat box and show COVA some love because they've been doing the same for both Black and Brown students.
All right, next up, a wonderful OUSD high school, Midwest, with 91% of African American students completing A through G. What you should know is that they have a unique model where not only do students complete A through G, but they also engage in internships so they can really do meaningful learning in work settings. Awesome. Congrats, Midwest. We are so proud of you, your hard work. Shout out to Logan Manning, their principal.
We are moving up to our 100% schools. I'm really proud of these schools showing that African American students' achievement can be a reality for all. We don't need to accept a gap in A through D rates for our students, and we can definitely get it done like these schools.
Let's give it up for Ames K through 12, college prep, high school. Give it up for Julia Lee, their division head of academy. She is an important leader there who is showing that A through G is possible for all, 100%. Great job, Ames.
They're just killing it, these schools. Let's keep it going with Bay Tech. Look at these incredible students, Luke and Ashley, who are both headed to Cal State East Bay, having completed their A through G requirements. 100% of Black students completing A through G. This is amazing. Please show Bay Tech some love in the chat box.
All right, back in a double winner tonight is Coliseum College Prep. You did it for Latino and 100% of your African American students. We are so proud of you. Let's give it up for CCPA.
Wait a minute. EVIA's first graduating class also had 100% completion of A through G for African American students. Way to go, EVIA. Congrats to Zach Powers, their principal. Big shout out to you and all of your administration.
All right. Up next, they have completed 100% for Latino and African American students 2 years in a row. Guess who? Envision. Congratulations, Envision Academy. You rock. You did it 2 years in a row for African American students, and your hard work shows that what is possible because we need that in the city of Oakland.
Okay, that was super exciting. So here is all of our award-winning schools for A through G for Black students. Take a look and show these schools we appreciate them and what they're doing for our students.
This spring, our FIA youth and parent leaders have been researching A through G. We want to shout out Dr. Lewis Waters, Dr. Gary Yee, and Shanti Gonzalez for sharing their knowledge and passion for A through G. We learned a lot and are including a new category this year.
We want to celebrate schools that are making huge improvements in A through G completion. They have not reached 80% yet, but they improved 20% or more for Latinx or African American students in 1 year. That is incredible, and we need to recognize their dedication and hard work.
All right, first school for the Big Improvement Award is Sojourner Truth Independent Study Program at OUSD. They've increased it A through G completion for Latino students by 29% in 1 year. Wow, that's so amazing. Show them some love in the chat box. I'm thrilled about this.
Next award-winning school for big improvement is Fremont High School in OUSD. They increased A through G completion for African American students by 24% in 1 year. That's incredible. Fremont is coming up. We are so proud of your efforts, and you are inspiring other schools to see that big improvement is possible. Check out Divine, headed to CSU Northridge, Jeliza, Fremont's College Readiness Specialist, and Juana, headed to UC Berkeley.
If these schools keep improving, watch out. They can be in the top of the city. Wouldn't that be great?
Well, let's give it up again for all of our award-winning schools. You guys rock.
And I want to give you a challenge in Oakland. Listen up. We need more schools up here next year. You heard me? We need more schools. We know we can do it. We know we must do it. We must share the strategies of how school complete this amazing work. So next up, we'll be able to learn from a variety of educators on how to make A through G and four-year college the norm for all of our Black and Brown students.
Thank you, Lene. And now back to you, Michael and Javi.
Thanks.
All right, right on. Thank you so much for that, Lene and Stephanie. Let's give it up for them in the chat box, you guys. That was awesome. I mean, did you guys see all of that? That is the work that we all need to be uplifting and supporting as much as we can. You know, right? Did you see all of those schools? I mean, Envision. I mean, come on. And we're just knocking it out the park.
Yeah, I'm really proud. I mean, for all the schools that did achieve it, I mean, that's just amazing. Big shout out to our community from where I graduated. But most importantly, Michael, I'm really proud of Fremont High School, for example.
Right? So join the truth on that note.
Yes, definitely. Fremont High, who's not fully yet at the 80%, right? You know, they're currently at 41%, but still a 24% increase is just amazing for that. That's amazing. And then for Sojourner Truth, they're right now at 57% and had an increase of 29%. So
right,
that's huge. That's huge.
Right, that's the type of results that we want to see. That means that people are paying attention to their scholars and making sure that they're getting exactly what they need. You know, now that we know which schools are pulling off these amazing A through G completion rates, we really want to dive in and understand what makes it happen. If we can learn from our successes in Oakland, we can foster greater success. We have to celebrate while pushing ourselves to be better, because understand, with all of these successes that we may be having, we are still not where we need to be as a city and how we educate our children. It's important that we all do our best. It's important as parents and community that we all pour ourselves into the fight and lean in as hard as we can as well.
Exactly. We gotta motivate each other. We gotta look and ask for help even to other schools that are doing a good job. Ask them what they're doing. How can we all succeed? Because it doesn't come to what school is doing better. Honestly, it comes to the students. We gotta make sure that each and every student is getting that education. Each and every student is completing their A through G requirements, and each and every student is having an opportunity to get to that college education. Next, we would like to introduce 3 more amazing field leaders who will moderate a panel of educators so we can hear more about the secret sauce. All right. So, secret sauce to A-through success. Please welcome our co-founder and CEO, Kimmy King, FIA parent leader at Aspire, Michelle Thompson, and then a parent leader, Michelle Thompson, and a FIA youth leader, Carla Bonilla, who's at Oakland Community High School.
Right. Enjoy, you guys. You guys are in for a good one now.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to Michael, an amazing parent, and Javi, an amazing youth. We're so excited. Thanks for bringing in the celebration. Thanks for bringing the energy. I am so honored tonight to introduce Carla Bonilla, who is a senior at Oakland Unity High School. She did her senior project on A through G. That's how fired up she is. I'm also thrilled to introduce one of the most amazing parents I've ever had the opportunity to partner with, Michelle Thompson from Aspire BMA. She makes it all happen. We are going to have the pleasure of having a dialogue together with 4 extraordinary community experts on our education panel tonight. But before we bring them in, I really want to hear from you, Ms. Thompson. Tell us why you're here. Tell us why A through G matters to you.
Thanks, Kimmy. I'm so excited to be here. I've been waiting all month for this panel. I just want to hear about the secret sauce. I want to get all the information that I can. So I am a parent of 2 daughters at Aspire Berkeley Maynard Academy. Our school is K through 8. And so I want to gather all the information that I can so that when they leave Aspire Berkeley Maynard Academy and enter into a high school, they are already prepared and ready for what's for them, knowing that they need to complete the A through G requirements. So this award ceremony has been inspiring to me because I'm jotting down every school. They're on my list now. That's my target. That's my goal. Those are my inspirations for my daughters growing up where I did, where I didn't have this information. And so now it's laid out for me. I have a toolkit. I'm ready. I'm fired up for my girls, and I appreciate this award ceremony so much and excited to be here and hear from this panel. Thanks, Kimmy.
That's a great example of agency right there. Your mom, you're hearing who's getting the job done with A through G, and you're writing it down. I mean, this is what it's all about, is no parent wants their child to be left behind or not have the opportunity. So you are such an amazing example of that. Carla, tell us about you. What's going on with you, senior?
Hi, everybody. My name is Carla. And like Kimmy was mentioning, I did my senior defense project on A through G. Being part of FIA has really sparked that intensive in me to find better ways for Latinx and Black kids to obtain and kind of meet the eligibility for universities. So I decided to do my senior project on that and kind of interview a couple of people and use the FIA resources that were given to me to kind of compose a paper and a presentation in a way that kind of emphasizes the importance of A through G completion over graduation rates and the benefits / the negative effects it can have if they are not imposed better. Thank you.
So amazing. So amazing. Carla, you're so amazing. All right. Well, without further ado, we are going to bring on an extraordinary panel of educators to join us in some dialogue, because we saw some amazing accomplishments. These are the folks that are going to tell us how to get it done. And so first and foremost, I'm excited and honored to introduce Mateen Abdelkawi. We call him a legendary Oakland educator. He has been doing this work for so long at big schools, at small schools. He is tenacious, he is creative, and we're so honored he's here with us tonight. I'm excited to bring on Tanisha Webb, who is now the principal at Leadership Public Schools, another longtime educator in Oakland who's had a district career, also in the charters. Tanisha is doing amazing work at LPS. We're excited to hear what's going on with LPS. Ali Khan Bulani, co-principal at Life Academy. You saw Life getting all that love earlier on. We are so excited to learn more about the Life secret sauce, because this is work that happens on purpose. And so we get to hear how it's happening at Life Academy. And then last but not least, Jeannie Kelber from Oakland Unity High School, not only celebrating the A through G success, not only getting that hard work done, but just recognized as one of 3 Oakland distinguished schools in the state of California. So we're so excited to hear what is making all that happen. Bringing in our panel here, much love. This is a pandemic year. Educating our students, reaching our students was that much more challenging. So I just want to start in our audience. Can you give these amazing educators some love for just being tenacious and creative? Even during the pandemic, you all really kept getting the work done. So we appreciate you. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. And if you could just tell us your name, your role, what school or organization you're representing, and just tell us a little bit about that secret sauce, because we saw some amazing improvements, some amazing achievements. Let's hear a little bit of like what are the ingredients you're putting in to get out those kind of results. Mateen, we're going to start with you, sir.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kimmy. Appreciate it. Hey, greetings, everyone. Like Kimmy said, my name is Mateen Abdul Kawi. I'm the high school network superintendent. And she used a lot of code words just to say that I've been around a long time. But she wants to know about the secret sauce. And I think everyone on this panel is going to share some really key pieces about what it takes to help all of our scholars meet A to G. And I'll start off with a few of them. So one of them, I think, is a belief. You have to have an honest and sincere belief that all of your scholars can achieve, meet all the A to G requirements. And what that means is that you're eligible to apply for every CSU and UC in the state of California. And when we see our scholars, we have to believe that every one of them has the ability to do that. Regardless of how they present, regardless of how our young people show up in our spaces, in our places, and we got to look beyond all that, realize that they're just young folks, and that soon they're going to be on the college campus. And it's our job to get them ready to do that. I think there's a lot of things to the secret sauce, but having a really strong team on your site that advocates and supports it. So that means counselors that meet with our young people to evaluate their transcripts and make sure they have the right classes. It could be a H-period day that gives them the number of classes that they need during the school day to be successful.
Love it.
A lot of things I can share, but I'm gonna let my team share some more.
I know, and check out. We just recently published a blog where Mateen was able to really break down a lot of these things. But it touches my heart when I hear you say an honest and sincere belief in the capability of every student. And I saw so many nods going as you were speaking. I know that's really resonating with the rest of our panel. Next up, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself, Ms. Webb, principal at LPS. And please tell us a little bit about that secret sauce, because it's a little different what you talked about, right? You had some other things that you brought into the mix.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Kimmy, for inviting me. As Kimmy said, I'm the principal at LPS Oakland R&D. I have been in Oakland for a really long time. I was a student at OUSD. I worked in Oakland Unified for 10 years, so really connected to the community. As far as the secret sauce and what we're doing over at LPS, I would like to highlight what Mateen said. The belief and the mindset is absolutely the first priority. We have to believe that each and every child that walks in our door can be successful. They can go to college. They can do whatever that they want. Our job is to believe in them and give them options. I think one of the things that we do at LPS is we really looked at what are systematic ways that our students are not seeing access to A through G. And so one of the things that I'm really proud of that LPS does is we actually do not give students Ds. So you have A, B, C, and F. And I think that that is important because a D does not allow a student to be A through G eligible. It will graduate them from high school, but it limits their options post their secondary experience. And so, of course, there are students who do not earn that C, and then we do additional work and supports with them. But I think that that is the biggest way that we're supporting students, is removing that systematic barrier, right? Because a student can earn a D and graduate, but then they either have to remediate that in summer school, or they have to remediate those courses somewhere along the way, and that really puts a barrier in their way. So that's one of the things that we do at LPS. We do not offer what I like to call the poor man's F.
Got it. Thank you so much, Tanisha, and congratulations. I know you passed some important stage of your doctoral program, so we salute you. We know you're putting in all that hard work. Ali Khan, break us down. What's happening at Life Academy? You guys get a lot of love. You were very clear about what's going on there in terms of really not leaving students behind. We've heard high beliefs, believing in kids. We've heard get away from those systemic barriers. What would you add into the ingredients that make up that secret sauce?
Sure thing. How's it going, everyone? My name is Ali Khan Bulani. I'm the co-principal at Life Academy, serving 475 students in the Fruitvale in grades 6 through 12. So I would have to triple down on what I've already heard, which is all about belief. We talk a lot about what it means to create choice-filled lives for our young people. What that means to us at Life Academy is that we are not gatekeepers in any respect. And so what that A through G being one of those ultimate gates, if you programmatically don't make a move about it, can be one of the most ultimate gates. And so, as I've heard a lot of times in these presentations today. I mean, our secret sauce, I got nothing revolutionary to add other than the fact that it's just a lot of hard work. It takes diligent tracking. It starts very early. We're lucky to have students in this journey for 7 years. And so we know them when they enter 9th grade, which puts us at an advantage when it comes to relationships with their families, with our community in general, with their siblings, with their cousins, so many different parts of the community. So all of that work matters for when you enter 9th grade, and it's just unequivocally clear what you're there to do. And it's unequivocally clear on the part of my team in terms of how we're going to be tracking students from the moment they enter 9th grade to the minute that they walk across the stage A through G, with their A through G completion, graduating, and heading to their post-secondary choice of their desire. So I can't add much to the conversation other than we got no D's at the school, and it's just a lot of hard work. It's a lot of just individualized hard work, which is the benefit of being at a small school.
That's right. Thank you so much, Ali Khan. And it's not like you don't just give out D's. It's a ton of work if you're on that path to a D, to lift up out of that and collaborate and figure, right? It's not just like we're just technically eliminating the D. We're doing the hard work to intervene and support. Jeannie, we're so excited to hear from you, lady. And I want to give it up. Jeannie is a college and academic counselor. College and academic counselors are so key to this work. So we salute you. We appreciate you. All of the people who've spoken have spoken to me about just how important the role of, that you play in a school is. So we totally appreciate you. And we want to hear about your secret sauce at Oakland Unity, Jeannie.
Yeah. So thank you. It's great to be here. I'm, as she said, Jeannie Kelber, and I'm the college and career counselor at Oakland Unity High. Carla's one of those seniors that I think we all can tell make my job really easy. She's really putting in the work. So I think one of the key factors at Unity is that you need C's in your A through G classes in order to graduate. So that immediately creates a situation where graduation equals access. That door is open for, if you are in a position to graduate from Unity, that door for a post-secondary education at a 4-year school is open to you. Whether or not you decide to take that or not, it is at least an option. I know when I was a young person, I changed my mind many times about what I wanted to do with my life. And so as educators, I feel it is not our job to choose for them, but our job to open that door for them so that the choice is available. But what that does is it puts everyone at the school and all of the stakeholders, including students and parents, on the same path towards the same goal. Everybody's working towards a common goal, and the whole team is on the same mission, working hard to achieve it. So it creates kind of like unity among staff, and then also among students and families as well.
Love it. Love it. So, right, it's not just Jeannie's job. That's what I heard from several of you. The whole community is pulling together in this common goal, right? It's not just a single person that's tasked with this. This permeates the fabric and culture of a given school. You're getting a shout out from one of my mentors, somebody I really admire, Derek Mitchell. Thank you for being with us and honoring and acknowledging the brilliant leadership we have on this panel. Something I wanted to go back to something that you talked about, Ms. Webb, Tanisha, around how you use the community college system as a partner, because you talked about you kind of do some double dipping that's very advantageous for students as you get them to A through G. Will you just talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. So we have a variety of different college dual enrollment college courses on our campus, but they are built into our academic program. So there are students who in our pathway courses, in our math program, who are taking the college level courses, who then it gets them their A through G requirement, and then as well builds up that college that transcript as well as that college going culture. So they are familiar, they are comfortable, they know how to navigate it, but also that they can see that the work is accessible to them with supports, and they begin to believe in themselves that they too can, they belong on a college campus. So really expanding that program, especially while it is free in high school, is a way that we build up our students to A through G. Our students can take a variety of different courses, and there are staff members who kind of support them through, right? We're scaffolding them through that process. So there are college courses built into their academic day. There is a facilitator on our end who is leading that charge. So those students are not left on their own to do this work, right? They have the college course teacher as well as the high school teacher who is with them every day, you know, supporting them, walking them through the expectations of the college course. So it really is a partnership across the school as well as the colleges and the families.
Awesome. Awesome. And then I'm just assuming other folks on this panel here also partnering with community colleges to get that credit. Awesome. Awesome. Now, Mateen, you're passionate about something called the master schedule. And if you haven't built one, you might not know what it is, but we can use these tools to create opportunity and create equitable access. So I just hope you could break this down. There's parents watching, there's students watching, you know, there's educators watching, there's principals watching saying, I want to do this work too. So can you just tell us about that master schedule and what needs to happen there so that A through G can really be accessible?
Sure. So in many ways, the master schedule is the foundation of any school, but particularly a high school. Having the right courses at the right time creates opportunities for students to get a full spectrum of not only A to G requirements, but also electives, dual enrollment. And if you do it right, by the time they're juniors and definitely by the time they're senior year, they can only have a half day of school on campus, and they'll leave to go to internships, jobs, or take concurrent enrollment, actually go to one of the Peraltas and take a class there. One of the things that's super important, and many of us have been able to do it as a result of the measure in parcel tax, is to create an 8-period day at many of our schools. And so in a typical school setting, that the average student only takes 6 classes a year. So if you're only taking 6, that's only 60 credits a year. And over the course of 4 years, that's 240 credits. But a graduation for OUSD is 230 credits. So that margin of error is only 1 class, really. So technically, you get 3 Ds, or you fail a semester, fail a year or something, you're already in a position of not being able to graduate on time. You're actually already off track. And so many of our young scholars at the end of their freshman year are already off track. And so an 8-period day gives you the ability to not only give some of our scholars an opportunity for remediation in the upper grades, but also opportunities for the dual enrollment, like Tanisha was just talking about, and other opportunities as well. You can get a world language and music and art and your CTE class, all because you have an 8-period day. And when you do 8 periods, now you're taking 80 credits a year. 80 over the course of 4 is 320. So now you got a lot of room to play. You got more than enough opportunities to meet your ADG requirements. You can go deep into your art. You can have a really comprehensive CTE experience and all that during the school day. And you can save for after school for jobs, sports, or taking care of your little brother and sister, whatever it takes.
Absolutely. You're creating opportunity, right? You're creating systemic opportunity with that change in scheduling. I think that's really important to make note of, because we can believe all we want to believe, but if students can't get credit recovery built into their schedule, we have a problem, don't we? That's when our beliefs collide with our systems. So part of our work as educators is to really break some of those systems down and do the kind of creative thinking that you're talking about, Mateen. So thank you for that. Jeannie, you talked about SLCs. Can you tell us what an SLC is and how that helps? Because someone mentioned bringing the families in. And I'm going to tell you, the FIA families want to know about what kind of opportunities are being provided by any school that they're considering for their children. How does SLCs, what is that, first of all, and how does it play a role in A through G success?
Yeah. SLCs are, they really become a major part of our school culture, and it stands for student-led conferences. And students at Oakland Unity lead a conference with their advisor. And just as some context, students are matched up with an advisor who they have class with their freshman year, and they stay with that advisor all the way through graduation. That advisor hands them their diploma on graduation day. For Carla, that's in a few days now, coming up very soon. So SLCs are with advisors, parents, any other family or important stakeholders. Teachers are welcome as well. And it is a meeting where students talk about their progress, but then we also go over their A through G progress, their progress towards graduation, any classes they need to recover, any graduation requirements that they're behind on. And then we talk about action items for the current year, or in general action items to help make sure that they get back on track. Hi, Mary Rose. So it's really awesome. It's a really important way that we get our parents involved, and we are persistent. We have over 90% attendance at these meetings, even over distance learning. We still held them, and it's I think they're treated like they're very important, and that really helps us stay connected to families, which I think is, it's still an area of growth for us, because I think the parent and family component can be really complicated and really difficult. Our families are busy. A lot of them can't just show up at school in the middle of a day, in the middle of a work day. And a lot of families have complicated relationships with school systems themselves. So this is one way we're able to kind of meet our families where they're at.
That's right.
And keep them informed.
That's right. Awesome. And I saw some nodding. I feel like Ali Khan probably has SLCs at Life too. But Ali Khan, you were so passionate about something called transcript monitoring. And I remember the first time I spoke with you, you were like, we meet all the time. We're doing the transcript monitoring. And can you just tell us that? Because a parent, you might not actually know that lingo before they get to high school. And I think it's something actually really important to just for folks to know, what is that transcript and what does it mean to really monitor that and ensure the A through G is success?
Absolutely. What a thing to be passionate about. Transcript monitoring. What a cool guy. This to me is the very unsexy work that I was kind of referring to of actual A through G, ensuring that students are meeting their A through G requirements, which is, as Mateen kind of mentioned here, it starts so early. Like when you look at students in 9th grade making some mistakes here and there as they transition to this whole new environment, or a different set of expectations around academics and so on and so forth. Socially, we know that 9th grade is like a really crazy time, and students who, might biff it in one class or two are suddenly off track because of how dramatic these master schedules can be and how dramatic the credit scheme is. And so what that means is that from the very beginning, there is a, not fancy looking spreadsheet with students' name in the column, classes across the columns, rather, students' names in the rows. And we are messily keeping this document and referring to it constantly as we meet with our partners, our counseling team, the principals, our advisors, our relationships with places like East Bay College Consortium. When we meet with those partners, a central document that we must keep together and hold together is this tracker, which kind of outlines where students are at any given moment by the semester. And in this year in distance learning, by the mini-mester, as strange as that was, right? And so I think the reality of it is that there's no secret revolutionary silver bullet here to make this happen. It's a spreadsheet. It's ugly. It's alive. We use it all the time, and we are in conversation with it, using it to talk to students and families.
I love that, Ali Khan. And someone else that I've worked with and admire for a long time, Chris Chapman, says, you have to inspect what you expect. So if we expect students to be completing A through G, we have to inspect their progress. Right. And we don't have to be embarrassed about that. That's what we do as conscientious educators. Correct. That's what we do as conscientious parents. So I totally, the transcript monitoring is sexy. I'm gonna argue with you about that, Ali Khan. Okay, it is. It's a very, very positive thing. And I want to, I could talk to you guys all night. You guys are speaking my language. You are speaking the language of educational transformation and success by any means necessary. But we only have a short time for our panel, so we're going to wrap up soon. We have some wonderful blogs to share with our audience because I know they're really caring about this. But I really want to give Carla and Ms. Thompson an opportunity, just like what resonated with you. And if you're out there in the audience, I'd love to hear what resonated with you in that chat box. What are you taking away? What do you think the most important part of that secret sauce is for us to really glom onto as a city? Because we know we have a far distance to travel. These folks are proving how possible it is. But audience, if you can get in that chat box and tell us what you think is most important about the secret sauce. Carla, I'd love to hear from you first. What really resonated with you as you listened to our panel?
Something that really resonated with me, I feel like, is the checking of our transcript. I think that's very important because I was talking to Dr. Charles Cole not that long ago, and he was kind of talking to me about the fact that a lot of the problem is that students and families and parents don't know what classes they're supposed to take because they don't look at the transcript as much as they should be. They check it like once a year or like once their child's like transitioning into the next grade, right? But then they notice that there's some classes that they did not complete that were required. Seeing that progress and making sure that every kid is kind of like on that same path to success, I feel like it's just gonna ensure them, obviously, the opportunity to go to a great college and to kind of like over the long period of time ensure like their success in life. Obviously, we all understand how important education is, especially now, and how much more beneficial it is, to have a 4-year like a degree, right? And how to, keep advancing in education. So making sure that, educators in school, like high school, being the very first steps to someone's like life success through these little things, through this checking, through this parent involvement, family involvement. I feel like it's so crucial. And that's something that's like really sticking with me because it's like crucial. It's like super important.
Yeah. Well, we saw earlier 50% of students in the survey didn't even know what A through G was, much less if they were on track or not. So I think what you're saying is actually really important, right? If we don't raise up what it is and make sure we're paying attention to it, it's not going to happen. Ms. Thompson, love to hear from you. And what resonated with you as a parent? What are you taking away from this wonderful group of educators?
Thanks, Kimmy, and thank you to the panelists. This information is just unmeasurable. I just want to take all this information, put it in a bottle, and just carry it with me. We're calling it sauce. I just really want to sprinkle it on all of the knowledge that I'm taking in. What resonated with me is all of it, right? Just what can I do to better my children, to have them successful and to get them into college. All of their school years, we've been talking about this is college. We want you there. We want you there. But how do we get them there? And with this sauce, with this information, will help get them there. dumping the D, but then also making the room for error. They're kids. There will be, or there may be errors. So let's make room for them. The connection with parents, the mindset, changing the mindset of not only the children, but also the parents, also the counselors, just changing everyone's mindset to believe that our kids are bright. Our kids can do it, and we are going to do it with this information, with this rules and systems that we can help change up and move and give breathing room for all of us. So very excited, very impressed by all of you that are at our local schools that are actually doing the work for our Black and Brown students and giving us examples of where we can now send our kids to, who's at 100%, who's above 80, or who's actually working towards getting our children into school. We're all trying to reach the college system, but even for the A to G requirement, which is for our UC and CSUs, college is expensive. We know that. So to go out of state would be even harder in an impactful financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have state schools that may be available to us financially, but because of an A through G system that has impacted us in a way, won't even give us that opportunity. So I appreciate all of this information. Again, following up all the sauce and ready to move forward. So thank you.
That's going to be a delicious sauce. I'm going to get some of that sauce. So thank you so much, Ms. Thompson. In the chat, please give some love to our panelists. I can't thank them enough. This is such a busy time of the school year, but they were all really pretty passionate about coming on and sharing their experiences and their knowledge with us. So just if you can give our panelists some love in the chat box, thank you all for being here. We getting some claps, we getting some this. And we got to keep this going, you guys. This is so awesome to hear across all kinds of schools how we are really committed to and showing up for A through G success. So thank you again for being here. That's a wrap on our panel. We got one more little part to do, which is to take some action. We're inspired, we're fired up, but tonight you have an opportunity to actually really call on our leadership to really continue to do better. So I'm gonna let our awesome panelists step out here, and we are just gonna wrap up our show tonight. So thank you all again. All right, love you guys. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Kimmy, Michelle, Carla, and our amazing panelists. Thank you guys. I mean, as they were saying, as you know, we can all see, it's all about providing our communities with opportunities. Opportunities. They need opportunities. And you know, when you get shortcut in these A through G requirements, that cuts off majority of the opportunities that you need in your lifetime. So it's just far too important. You know, opportunities and starting early, and it takes a community. None of us can do this alone. So right now, though, we want to we want to invite you all, you know, to be champions and then close this access gap for Black and Brown students in Oakland with us.
Awesome. Definitely, that was amazing. And now it is time for our call to action. So how will we be champions and close the access gap for Black and Brown students in Oakland? First, get your information so you can advocate for your education. Download and share our parent youth and A through G kit. So you can use that little scan thing part and scan it with your phone, and you'll get, you know, your link will pop up. But you know, the link will also be put in the chat. That way, you have it.
Right. You know, sign on, you guys. It's all far too important. You know, it's like we were saying earlier, and as you've heard, even in some secret sauces out there, which I'm gonna make some wings in. Y'all all invited. But dump the D. Dump it. Get rid of it. Get it up out of here. It doesn't do anything for our students. You know, it's, you know, way too many Oakland students, including student athletes. Like I said before, this could kill that student's career. You know, Marshawn is not the only amazing athlete that we have from Oakland. I promise. Only thing is that far too many of our scholars never make it to that next level because of this.
Secondly, when we want to put families in the driver's seat, so ongoing communication about A through G status on transcripts, freshman family orientation on A through G, which is super important because there's a lot of students, like we saw in the Energy Converters, the Energy Converters survey, that a little over 200 students, you know, didn't know what A through G was. We have to empower students and parents with knowledge so that they aren't deceived on graduation day.
And third, every student can recover credits. Credit recovery must be an option starting in freshman year, when we all make mistakes. Make sure that no student sacrifices their 4-year college eligibility because they didn't have access to credit recovery. I know even in my time, I was proactive because I wasn't going to get left behind. My parents had already sacrificed a lot just so that I could have access to a shot. So I went to summer school every year, good, bad, or indifferent, to make sure that I had everything that I needed. So the time I graduated from Skyline, that's right, I'm OUSD alumni as well. By the time I graduated, I already had more than enough credits, but that's not, a lot of students don't have the opportunity to go that road, or they're not knowledgeable about it. So it's important. We have to get the word out, and we have to support our scholars as best as we can. So take the time and join us and sign on today. The link or the QR code, as you see up there, we'll also put it down in the chat box as well. And you can always, and please do this, always find it on our FIA website at www.fiaoakland.com. And if you want to know more about how to advocate for you and yours, please stop on over to FIA and drop us a line.
Definitely. We call on you to be champions and do your part to close the access gap for Black and brown students in Oakland. Oakland, we can do better. So many educators showed us what it takes to deliver access, quality, and equity. Let's build on their examples and not leave a single Black and brown student out in the cold. You can make a difference with one click of a button. So please go on there, complete that survey, and let's send as many emails out as we can.
That's right, guys. And thank you all so much for hanging in there with us and joining us this evening. Let's keep this work happening until A2G is a reality for all students in Oakland. Appreciate you all. Thank you. God bless and good night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.